Hey guys, so I'm going to start doing my NHL playoff previews, and I'm going to do every single series just like I did last year. So it's like Sunday night that I'm recording it. I have no idea when these videos are going to be up because like my sister is on the computer still. A lot. I said in a different video that like she's been needing it a lot more, so I've kind of been not slacking, but just not been able to be on it a lot, so I can't I'm hoping to like record a bunch tonight, and then I'm hoping to record them all by tomorrow and then get them all up by Wednesday, hopefully. So, yeah, St. Louis Blues versus Winnipeg Jets. So we're going to go through the season series first. So October 4th in St. Louis, Winnipeg won 5-1. October 22nd in Winnipeg won 5-4 in overtime. November 24th in St. Louis, Winnipeg won 8-4. And then December 7th in Winnipeg, St. Louis won 1-0. So Winnipeg took 3 of the 4 games, winning both games in St. Louis, outscoring them 13-5 there, which is pretty good. So now going to the records. Winnipeg is 47-30-5, 99 points, and St. Louis is 45-28-9, which is also 99 points. For some reason I didn't write what spot they're in, so I'll check that right now. So Winnipeg is 2nd in the Central, and St. Louis is 3rd in the Central. That's so close. St. Louis could have got home ice too. That was really close, but I'm glad that Winnipeg got it. But anyway. So now going on to their records at home and away. So Winnipeg at home is 25-12-4. On the road they're 22-18-1, and then St. Louis is 24-15-2 at home and 21-13-7 on the road. So I'm gonna say a bunch of stuff from a bunch of sites, just kind of say some of these are kind of just what I've got and stuff, but yeah. So Winnipeg is coming in 1-1-1 in their final 3. For every single series, I told you I wrote down every the last 3 games just to kind of see what they're going into the playoffs. So yeah, Winnipeg coming in 1-1-1 in their final 3, a 5-1 loss in Minnesota, a 3-2 overtime loss in Colorado, and a 4-2 win in Arizona. St. Louis is coming in 2-0-1 in their final 3, a 4-3 shootout loss in Chicago, a 7-3 win at home against the Flyers, and a 3-2 shootout win at home against the Canucks. So now we're going to talk about the goalies just a little bit. So Hellebuyck is 34-23-3, a .913 save percentage, and St. Louis for Allen 19-17-8, .905 save percentage, and then Binnington is 24-5-1. I think I meant to say 24-15-1, but yeah, which is a .927 save percentage. And the reason I put 2 goalies for that one is because I think both of them played equally, So in their last 10, Winnipeg is 4-5-1, and they've won their last one. St. Louis in their last 10 is actually pretty good. They've won 2 in a row, and they're 8-1-1. So that's good to go into the playoffs. So now I'm going to tell you guys the games. So game 1 is going to be in Winnipeg Wednesday, April 10th at 8. Game 2 is also in Winnipeg Friday, April 12th at 9:30. Game 3 in St. Louis is going to be Sunday, April 14th at 7:30. Game 4 is in St. Louis as well, obviously, Tuesday, April 16th at 9:30. Game 5 will be in Winnipeg Thursday, April 18th, time to be determined. Game 6 in St. Louis Saturday, April 20th, time to be determined, obviously. And then obviously Game 7 in Winnipeg Monday, April 22nd. The time is to be determined because obviously if they're necessary, which I think they will be, to be honest, I think I'll go 6 or 7, but I'll get to that later. So when we were celebrating the turn of the calendar to 2019, few would have predicted the St. Louis Blues would not only get to the playoffs, but be the hottest team out of the Central to get there. And a tight race for the division title came down to the last day of the regular season. St. Louis and Winnipeg just missed out on first place, meaning the 2 heavy hitters line up against one another in the first round. Both should be considered contenders for their own reasons, though their outlooks are entirely different. So here's how the Blues and Jets match up in round 1. So going into the advanced stats, so 5 on 5, St. Louis is 51.50 CF percent, which I still don't know what that means, which is 10th in the league, 53.04 goals for percent, or GF percent, which is also 10th, a .921 save percentage, which is 12th, an 8.1 SH, which I'm assuming is shorthanded, percent, which is 14th, and then a 1.002 PDO, which is 13th. For Winnipeg, a 48.97 CF percent, which is 19th, a 50.61 GF percent, which is 15th, a .923 save percentage, which is 8th, an 8.37 shorthanded percent, which is 10th, and a 1.007 PDO, which is 7th. What the hell is PDO? What the... Going into team stats, so St. Louis has been their power play has been 21.1%, which is 110th. Okay, I think that's 10th, not 110th. That makes no sense. Their penalty kill is 81.5%, which is 9th. They have 244 goals for, which is 14th, and then 220 goals allowed, which is 5th. The Winnipeg on the power play is 24.8%, which is 4th. The penalty kill is 79.1, which is 23rd, so not the greatest, but 270 goals for, which is 7th, and 243 goals allowed, which is 15th. Again, their head-to-head record with each other. St. Louis is 1-2-1 against the Jets, and the Jets are 1-3-1-0 against the Blues. So after reaching the Western Conference final a year ago, Winnipeg backed into these playoffs and let the division title slip away from them. If not for a Game 82 win over Arizona, home ice advantage would have been slipped away from them as well. This is the tale of two seasons for both sides. As the 2018 portion of the schedule came to a close, the Jets were 25-12-2, which made them the best team in the West, while St. Louis had a 15-18-4 mark that had them at the bottom of the conference. But in 2019, it was the St. Louis Blues leading the West with a 30-10-5 record, which is really good, while Winnipeg's 22-18-3 record was 17th league-wide. Much of Winnipeg's struggles had to do with the fact Justin Byfuglien and Josh Morrissey both missed time in the second half, which had a hugely negative impact on the team's success. Without them, the Jets ranked 29th in the NHL. In shots percentage at 5-on-5 in the league. Byfuglien, I don't know how to say his name. I'm just going to say Dustin, is back, and the hope in Morrissey will be back soon as well. That alone should breathe new life onto the Jets. St. Louis was always thought to be a strong team, but it wasn't until a young, hot shot goaltender arrived in Jordan Bingington that things started to settle. Along with him, Vladimir Tarasenko's goal scoring recovered as he converted on a 43-goal pace in the second half of the season, while Alex Pietrangelo and Vince Dunn were two of the NHL's top 8 scoring blue liners in 2019. Everything starts anew in the playoffs, but one team is clearly coming in with a hotter hand. It's the St. Louis Blues X Factor, armed with all the momentum a team can muster and a legitimate Stanley Cup threat. What turned around St. Louis' season? Jordan Bingington. I don't know how to say that name. So the rookie netminder posted a shutout in his first NHL start January 7th as an unknown minor leaguer, which is awesome, to be honest. In 29 starts since Bingingham, I'm just going to call him Bingingham because that's what I'm saying. Bingington has posted a .927 save percentage and an otherworldly 1.89 goals against average to go with his 23-5-1 record and 5 shutouts. Shit, that's awesome. While setting a franchise record for most wins by a rookie netminder. Who saw that coming? No one, obviously. Bingington's play also seemed to wake up what looked like a sleepy St. Louis squad. Since taking over the crease, the Blues have rediscovered the art of goal scoring, just as Tarasenko, who has been one of the most dominant forwards in the league since the calendar turned. I'm trying to see how long this video is. And are much stronger on the blue line. I'm just going to say intern. Head coach Craig Berube, should get a ton of credit too, of course, but it's the man in the blue and paint with a hot hand and ice in his veins who can take the Blues from feel-good comeback story to a legitimate Stanley Cup threat. The Jets X Factor. If momentum counts for anything in the postseason, the Jets could be in trouble. The club has started 2018-2019 atop many Stanley Cup prediction pieces, and while their solid play throughout much of the season tells us they deserve to remain there, their late season struggles are a cause for concern. Injuries have contributed, but mysterious chemistry has been an issue here too. Sometimes the right answer is also the most obvious. If the Jets are to get their mojo back in the playoffs, they have to be able to play their signature brand of hard hitting, play-making hockey, and it has to start with the top. And it has to start at the top with Mark Scheifele and Blake Wheeler. Sorry guys, I'm really out of it because I haven't done these videos in so long. Plus I'm going against the wall just to get in the camera. I was gonna go over here, but then the light would be. Ugh. A quick glance at both skaters' stats sheets tells us they're enjoying one of the best campaigns of their respective careers. Shifley's 38 goals and 84 points are career bests, and Wheeler reached the 90-point plateau almost entirely on assists as one of the NHL's best playmakers once again. Only the duo has been largely absent for down the stretch, coinciding with the Jets' struggles to separate themselves from the separate themselves from the pack. Depth scoring has proven to be effective in their absence, but in order for the Jets to prove a lot of predictions right, they'll need Shifley and Wheeler back in mid-season form. So some key injuries are going to be St. Louis, Colton Parayoko, undisclosed, day-to-day, and then Semi Blay, ankle, day-to-day, and then for Winnipeg it's Josh Morrissey, upper body, and Brandon Tanev, also upper body. So now just going into a few more stats. The Jets, who reached the Stanley Cup playoffs for the second straight season, led the Central Division with 68 points on February 1st, but finished 14-14-3. They held on to second place by going 2-1-1 in a season-ending 4-game road trip and a 45-42 advantage in regulation overtime wins. RO. It's going to be an absolute grinder, maybe even more so than last year. The way those wildcard teams ended up playing, who guided the Jets, said whatever the hell, who guided the Jets to their Western Conference playoff season last year. Western Conference final last season before a 5-game loss to the Vegas Golden Knights. Oh yeah, I remember that. That was depressing. The Blues were last in the NHL, 15-18-4 on January 2nd, but before winning 11 in a row from January 23rd to February 19th. St. Louis was 23-6-4 after February 1st, second to the Tampa Bay Lightning, 25-5-2 in that stretch. So, some numbers to know. The power play was 5th in goals, 62, and 4th in percentage, 24.8. It will face a stiff test against the Blues penalty kill, which finished 9th at 81.5%. For the Blues, they allowed 2,345 shots on goal, 4th fewest in the NHL, and gave up 72 goals from February 1st to the end of the regular season, which actually not that bad. Fewest in the NHL, that tied the Dallas Stars during that span, but the Blues did it in 33 games, the Stars 32. So we've been playing playoff hockey for a long time now, just to clinch and get in. This group has come a long way, come together. We're enjoying playing for one another right now. Obviously, winning makes it a whole lot easier now. We feel like we've got a good team in here and hoping to go on a run in the playoffs here. That was Blues forward Braden Chen. And Jets captain Blake Wheeler said, "We've got a good feeling in our room. We feel a lot of excitement about what's going to be a great series. The biggest challenge is getting off to a good start, getting on a roll, getting confidence in your room, and if you're able to do that, everything's possible." So these teams will win if, for the Jets, they can skate and disrupt the Blues structure. Winnipeg's speed and up-tempo game has yielded strong results when it's in effect. If it can create odd man rushes and offensive zone pressure, there are plenty of finishers who can capitalize. This was the Jets' best look in the 2018 playoffs, where they won 2 rounds before losing to the Golden Knights. For the Blues, discipline and structure prevail. The Blues have been a tight, focused team in the second half, difficult to play against because they had a few breakdowns, and it's been an impressive rehearsal for the postseason. If they can stick to that and pressure the Jets into more mistakes, their odds of winning the series increase. So now my prediction is actually kind of tough because at first I was kind of like St. Louis and Winnipeg. I'm pretty sure before it said Winnipeg and Dallas, and now it says this, so it just changed just like that. So it's I don't know what to really say, to be honest. So what I have written down is maybe Jets in 6-7, just because they have home ice. But now reading what they actually gone through and everything, how good they've been the past thingy, it's definitely possible that this series goes 7. We might see, I don't know. A lot of the series you're going to actually hear me say a solid prediction, but for this I actually don't know. I'm actually not that keen on predicting because I have no idea. I don't even know. All I really got to say to this is it's going to be a really good series in my opinion. Again, who wins, I don't know. We'll see. It all just depends how the Jets play and how the St. Louis Blues play. If they continue, then they could be good. If the Jets gather shit together, then they could be good too. You know what I mean? So it just depends on who, whatever. So again, good luck to both teams. May the best series win. May the best team win it in the series, and I hope the Jets win just because I want a lot of the Canadian teams to be in the playoffs because that's lit. Because I don't think the Leafs are going to beat the Bruins, but we'll get to that in that video. Trust me, that one's going to be a good long video. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.